So this is a perpendicular stretch, and Madison, you can do this one on your own here by taking a big breath in, and then as you exhale, just try to let your upper half fall down towards the ground like that. And as you let go, sometimes you'll feel a little click in there. I can tell you're a little apprehensive about this. Does it feel like something's gonna break?
Yeah.
And you're just so tight there. Good, and then come back up. So this is a stretch. There's a technique here that we had talked about showing you. I'll tell you this first. If Madison was a patient of mine, I would not do this stretch. And I'm gonna be very gentle when I do it. I wouldn't do it for two reasons. Number one, she's a young lady, and the position that I have to get in would make her feel uncomfortable if I was anybody except her dad. And so it would be off limits to do this one, in my opinion, just because of those circumstances. Also, she's a little uneasy with it, so I would not do any fast stretches with her. But let's have you pick your hips up towards the sky, roll down just a little bit, about right there. That position sometimes is a little bit more tolerable, okay? And then you can kind of extend back a little bit more. As you get closer to the low back with this stretch, people know that, okay, I'm a little bit vulnerable there, they're a little bit more apprehensive. But if we want to add a stretch, and this is what's interesting about a quick stretch, is when you look at the force on the spine, when she's just letting gravity do this, let's just say that's 50 pounds just because it's a round number. Well, when I do a quick stretch, the actual force is much less, but since the duration is shorter, we get more elongation of that joint capsule. So let me have you bend your knees, your elbows like this, and keep them clasped back there like that. Good. And you know, actually I like to support the neck even like this when you're doing that. Good. And then I'm just going to help you with your stretch a little bit, Madison. So I got your elbows right here. Good. And then I'm going to have you take a big breath and then out. There it goes. You feel that pop?
Yep.
And so that just that little stretch here, and I did not press down, I pressed a little bit more up than down, so my force was more through here. Now if we want to try to get the next level, pick your hips up and come down just a little bit, good, and relax, good. And on this one, I'm going to have you pick your hips up, good, take a big breath, and out. So we got that one. Let's see if we can get one more. Come down this way, good. Big breath, out, and pick your hips up. Did that one?
It was before.
It did? Okay, I didn't know if it was that or the
This is
phone.
when I picked my hips up.
So we actually have several vertebrae cavitate, which, you know, is plus or minus, but it is a really good stretch. The force doesn't have to be a lot. It can be quite effective, but you do have to pick your audience a little bit. Be very careful and never do this unless you're sure that a person is good with it. And usually one of the questions I ask is, so have you ever went to a chiropractor? You know, how does it make you feel when people, you know, pop your back, that type of thing? And, you know, we used to tell people that, and you can stand on them, but we used to tell people not to pop, that popping was bad because we believed that whenever you manipulated a joint segment, it could become loose, and then that would become arthritic. And studies have not really supported that. In fact, in certain circumstances, stretching to the point where you get an audible click can be beneficial neurologically and otherwise. So it's something that does have its place. It's one tool that can be used. You just want to make sure it's something that you're well trained in before you start trying this. Nice thing about it is you could try it on family and friends long before you try it on patients.